Welcome to the Pearl River Pop History Podcast. Get to know your town in about 5 minutes, one landmark at a time. My name is Sarah Northshield. I'm a children's librarian here at Pearl River Library, and I am here with
Jim Cassetta, local history librarian and author.
And I do not know very much about Pearl River, and that's why I'm picking Jim's brain about all kinds of things about this town and learning a little bit every episode. So this has been wonderful.
That's great.
I'm going to ask some who, what, when, where, why, and how questions. And as usual, hey Jim, how are you?
I am feeling optimistic.
Oh, good. I think maybe we need a thesaurus for different,
adjectives describing my mood.
Yes. So what are we going to be talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about a building that was known for decade upon decade as Hadeler's hardware store.
Okay. And where is that located?
That is located at the corner of Central Avenue and Main Street.
Okay.
At a point that it's roughly the highest point in Pearl River proper, 290 feet above sea level.
Okay. I did not know that there was the highest peak in Pearl River. And so when was it built?
It was built in 1873.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was Julius Bronsdorf and his establishment of the town also established businesses,
mm-hmm.
of course, from which he profited from.
Mm-hmm.
So he had the building built by a Hackensack contractor named Harry Van Wielden.
Okay. These names are great, by the way.
Oh, yeah, aren't they? And, Harry came in with his supplies from Hackensack and started building. There was a brick foundation,
mm-hmm.
and the building was built roughly maybe 8 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following year, it burned to the ground in 1874.
Okay, I shouldn't laugh, but it's just it's very dramatic. So
well, it was again that was one of the hallmarks. That's why we have two fire departments here.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely, because there was a constant threat of fire.
Mm-hmm.
So the building was built, and it burned to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It sat for a while, and then
a vacant lot.
No, the brick foundation.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it burned to the foundation, and then the rest of it was demolished.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bronsdorf rebuilt. I'm not sure if he used Van Wielden, but he rebuilt the building and has it run by a man named Philip McNiff.
Okay.
McNiff ran a general store,
mm-hmm.
and he was before the Rawweiser brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And the large picture windows, which is known as Hadeler's Corner there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Among the old-time locals.
Mm-hmm.
In there he would display his wares. So in old pictures you would see dishes, piles of canned goods,
mm-hmm.
and in one there is a beautiful nickel-plated wood-burning stove.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So McNiff would also go to Blauvelt, and he would take people's mail, and it was at his tenure that they decided to put it into servants.
Mm-hmm.
And but the store was known as Mrs. McNiff's. Susan
mm-hmm.
McNiff ran it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Philip did. He seemed to be either indigent or independently wealthy.
Okay.
But people called it Mrs. McNiff's store. It was her situation. She ran it
mm-hmm.
for until Philip died, and they sold it to Hunt.
Okay.
So a man named Hunt had it, who put in Hunt Avenue.
Okay.
He was a speculator, and he was independently wealthy. If you look on census, he actually states that in one, I believe.
That's his occupation?
Occupation, independent. So that's great. So he eventually sold the store to George Hadeler I, who had come from Brooklyn.
Okay.
And he established a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
because the Rawweisers in that interregnum between the hardware store sale and Hunt buying it, they established themselves as hardware, and Hadeler, for many years into the 1930s, late 1930s, sold groceries.
No hardware, just
no
groceries.
hardware. The
Okay.
hardware was post-World War II, it seems.
Okay.
So that's how they got started with George Hadeler. Second, he made deliveries for his father with groceries, and then you start to, see that they're in newspaper advertisements, they're carrying hardware after the war. Well, there was a big boom here.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
a big building boom.
Yeah, yeah.
And they provided sheetrock and 2x4s, and they had a lot of stuff. They were much bigger up Main Street in the storefronts.
Okay, okay. And so what's in there now? Or-
What is in there now is Clifford's Kung Fu Academy.
Okay.
And Tommy Clifford and I went to school together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a few years younger. His brother John was a close friend of mine. And he's doing a great job over there. He has a couple of locations, and he's the man who's doing it in there now. He's conducting business. When he's ready to go someday, who knows what else will go in there.
Yeah.
But what was interesting about Hadeler's Corner with the large picture windows was that there used to be a guy who had slot cars there in this early
really?
60s, yes. And kids would go in there and they would join, and they were able to race slot cars. And that was very exciting. A lot of kids remembered that.
Yeah, yeah.
So the Hadelers kept up until the big box stores. Paul tried. I'd always go in there, and I'd pay more than I could for other things because it was local.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a feeling, of loyalty to them, and they were great people. If they had something that they paid for in 1956, and they found it was something odd, and it's been sitting there since 1956.
Yeah.
They said, "Okay, we'll let you have this." I'm like, that cost $1.40. That's what I paid for it in 1956.
That's very kind. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And George Hadeler, who was a friend, I went in there for copper draw pulls, and he said, "Well, you know what? Just take them. Just take them."
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So it had housed all different kinds of stuff. That's from
businesses.
Groceries to kung fu. It's yeah.
It's happening at Hadeler's.
Well, thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Awesome. This program is written and produced by Jim Cassetta, Sarah Northshield, and the Pearl River Public Library. Editing and original music by Steve Hamilton. For more information about any of our topics, or to suggest your own, please contact us at pearlriverlibrary.org or call 845-735-4084. Thank you for listening, and tune in next time.